Hokage Tower. The shadow clones left behind was still doing paperwork as usual. That was until the office doors barged open and coming in was the three old farts. She did not want to see what is the meaning of this. Homer asked her, "Whatever are you talking about?" She asked with a deadpan expression. "You know exactly what we are talking about. What's this? I hear from Sasaki that you terminated Team 7 and made him a citizen." Koharu snapped. "And you've granted the Kobe Jinchuriki the rank of Chunin," says the emotionless voice of Danzo, narrowed her eyes lightly at the three. She figured the Uchiha brat would snitch to these three. "I did." So what was her answer? "We demand that you reinstate Sasaki and Team 7 back into service immediately." Koharu demanded and grant Sasaki Uchiha the rank of Chunin as well. The Uzumaki boy rank is voided. Homura says. Tsunade stares at the three. "No," she simply said. This made the three widen their eyes in surprise. "What did you say?" Homea asked. "You three must be losing your hearing. Let me repeat myself in a way that you can understand." Says calmly. "I said no," she repeated. "What? You dare defy us?" Koharu snapped. "Do you realize what this could do to Sasaki? Hell, think he's not important as he should be. He's the last Uchiha." Homura says. "You seem very attached to the Kobe Ginri. Do explain, why are you so suddenly attached to him?" Danzo challenged with a narrowed eye. Tsunade looked at all three of them with a glare. She's going to show these three withered old bags that she is not Hazen. "You think I give a about him being the last Uchiha? Did you forget Nar is the last Uzumaki, too? Or you all just simply don't care about the Uzumaki clan? It's all about the Uchiha clan, huh?" Shot back. "Plus, he isn't the only Uchiha," she added. "Itachi does not count. He is a traitor." Danzo countered. "I think not," says, making the three frown as they exchanged looks at one another, then back at Tsunade. "What are you talking about? Itachi killed all of the Uchihas and only spared Sasaki. Sasaki is the true last. Itachi is a traitor and a criminal." Homura said. "That's not what Itachi told me," revealed. This made the three freeze. "You've been in contact with the traitor when?" Koharu demanded. "Yes, I have, and he told me an interesting story too," says, glaring at the three. Flashback. A night later, Itachi would be at the rendezvous point waiting for Jiraiya, expecting him to come and give the Toad Sannin more information about the Akatsuki, but the Uchiha was met by a hooded figure. Looked at the hooded figure who spoke. "Hello Itachi, it's been a long time," says the voice he did not expect to hear. It was instead of Jiraiya. "Sama," he says, slightly surprised. Expecting Jiraiya. "Don't worry about him. He's unavailable and won't be active for some time," she told him. From a faraway distance, Yuga and her squad were present. He called them just in case things went south between her and Itachi. "What information can I grant you?" He asked her. "Everything that you can give me. I need to know every single Akatsuki member and what are their goals, and more importantly, what do they want with Naruto. Since I hear they are after Ginryuki." Tsunade answered. "But before you can give me information, I want to know something." "Itachi, why did you do it?" she asked him as Itachi stared at her blankly, already knowing what she meant at the last part. "Why did you kill all of the Uchiha clan?" she asked. "My father, Fugaku, and the clan as a whole were getting frustrated with the village and the Shinobi Council for not trusting the Uchiha clan. They suspected we had something to do with the Kobe attack," Itachi revealed. "My father and the Uchiha elders couldn't stand to be seen as traitors, so they thought of forming a coup against Konoha and planned on overthrowing the third Hokage," Itachi said. Tsunade listened as a brow raised. Some of this could partially make sense, that the Uchiha clan could potentially be responsible for the Kobe attack. She remembers the stories of how her grandfather and Mochia once duped it out, and the Uchiha had the Kobe under his control with his sharing. But the question is, which Uchiha clan member did it that night on the night of Naruto's birth? Makoto couldn't have been the culprit since her and Kusha were friends. That could only leave to Fugaku. I had to report this issue to third Hokage and the elders, and they weren't too pleased with the thought of the Uchiha clan planning a coup." Itachi continued. "How did my sensei respond to this?" she asked. "The third Hokage wanted to try talking to my father peacefully about this and talking him out of committing treason, but the elders on the other hand had other plans," Itachi revealed. "And that would be?" she asked, already knowing the answer. "Exterminate all of the Uchiha clan to prevent a civil war from happening within the village," Itachi answered. "They tasked me to be the one to do it," he revealed. "What about the elderly, the women and children? Did they have to die? They could have been spared," she questioned him. "The elders feared if I kept them alive, some of them would vow vengeance and could potentially know that Konoha ordered their execution. I didn't want to do it, but I had no choice. Itachi told her grimly, but I wasn't the only one. Who killed them? He revealed as she stared at him with wide eyes. Who? She asked. The masked man. He offered to help me. Itachi revealed. He proclaimed himself as Mochia, Itachi says, surprising her. But that's impossible. Moa died years ago. My grandfather did it with his own hands. Says with disbelief. It makes no sense. He should be dead. Tsunade said, thinking he had the sharing. Itachi revealed. Ade frowned. Something didn't add up. This masked man proclaiming to be Mochi must be some kind of imposter. Ma was hardly a coward. Why would he need a mask to hide himself? That didn't sound like the Moa her grandfather known. Wait a minute. The gears shifted in Tsunade's mind. Ma in the past once controlled the Kaiu to fight her grandfather. Could this imposter be Moa's secret apprentice and likely taught him such power? Some of it still didn't make any sense because her grandfather killed the man unless he didn't kill Ma enough and he survived. She must assume Ma may have died of old age before training a secret apprentice and that this secret apprentice may be a Rogia to carry out his revenge. She thought back on the night of the Kobe attack. Her expression turned into shock. The imposter is behind it. He's the true mastermind of the Kobe attack. Itachi reading's expressions as if she has figured it out. It was him. He's the one behind the Kobe attack, she whispered. Itachi didn't look surprised by this revelation as he looked away. I have a confession to make, he revealed. She turned to him looking at him. I may have did this on one condition to spare Sasuke, but I am not a monster. Itachi Tsunade just stares at Itachi waiting for him to finish. Not all of the Uchiha clan are dead. My mother and some female cousins along with Yumi escaped. He tells her, making her widen her eyes at this secret. Escaped? Explain. The busty Senju asked. While I knew that the purge was coming, I had to warn my mother of what was coming and convinced her to take whoever is worth living and leave before it's too late. Itachi told her. Makoto is alive, Tsunade asked. She's living with sister her Forgerha. Itachi answered. Tsunade remembers who your Forgerha was. She was known as the Thorn Princess of the Uchiha clan and sister of Makoto Uchiha. Well, this is some good news to hear. Not all the Uchihas are dead. Those who had nothing to do with the coup. Does Makoto know Sasaki is alive? She asked the Uchiha. Yes, and I had to convince her to leave him behind because Sasaki will be the one to redeem the Uchiha clan. Itachi says, and where can I find them in case your brother does redeem the clan? Because after what you did, the elders have been treating your brother like a spoiled brat. Tsunade said with a frown, they are poisoning his mind, giving him stuff as if he's Kam's child on a silver platter. While Naruto had to work his ass off to get where he had to, says as Itachi shook his head in disappointment, knowing his brother will act like Fugaku, choosing not to say anything on the subject for his brother's behavior. Itachi reached into his Akatsuki cloak and pulled out a map that leads to one of the Uchiha clan fortresses. This is where they are. Take it. He handed it to her as she took it softly and gazed back at the Uchiha male who turned to leave but stopped to look back at her. I'll keep in touch with you about the Akatsuki and find out whatever I can about our imposter. Also, if Danzo tries usurping, you be warned that he has root active and will use them against you and anyone he deems as a threat. Itachi warned her. Flashback end. The three elders were shocked, nervous. Tsunade knows. Danzo gripped his cane tightly. What you all did was treason in my eyes. You ordered Itachi to kill all the Uchihas. Some of them could have been innocent and were not a part of Fugaku's coup. All the women, children, and elderly who may have had nothing to do with what Fugaku was planning. Snapped. It was for the good of Konoha. I didn't have the heart to do what needed to be done. Homea replied. Besides, if any survived and learned the real truth on why Itachi killed them, they'd take revenge on Konoha and us as a whole. Koharu also added, all I hear is excuses. Covering your own assess, says with a tone laced with disgust. Here's what I will do. Telling the whole village the truth. Tsunade says as the three widened their eyes at this. Tsunade, don't do it. Do you realize the ramifications of what you will do if you tell the truth? Koharu yelled. The village deserves to know the truth that they've been worshipping a clan of half-traitors. She snapped at the elders. Don't do this. This will ruin Sasake's reputation. Homea pleaded. Look at my face and tell me if I give a Tsunade said, narrowing her eyes. You are certainly unfit to be Hokage Tsunade. It seems you are harboring a grudge just as Sasaki said you are because the Senju clan aren't as respected as the Uchiha clan and that you seem to have formed favoritism towards the Kobe Ginriki out of spite towards the Uchiha boy. Danzo spoke with a narrowed eye. I'd watch what you say right now, Danzo. Tsunade glared at him. I'll be keeping a close eye on all three of you. Especially you, she says, pointing at Danzo. Try anything and I'll have you all arrested for treason. Nade spat. This isn't over. Danzo scowled. It is over. Now get thee out of my office before I change my mind on arresting you all here and now. She threatened. The three elders glared and would leave, not wanting to get early arrest. She'll deal with those three later. She'll need to have extra security here since it's no secret that Danzo has root agents. She'll need to make an announcement to the whole village. As Hokage, it's time to give this village a sharp kick in the ass for change. Starting off with dissolving the civilian council and punish those who had a hand in hurting her stud, and will have them publicly executed. And when the announcement is known, she's having those elders arrested. Before she could continue, the doors knocked. Sighing, she told them to enter. The door opened, revealing a pair. It was the Harunos frowning at the pair. And how can I help the two of you? She had a feeling she knew what it was, but want to hear it from their mouths. Nad-sama, please, we beg of you to give our daughter Sakura Haruno a chance. Mebuki spoke first. Yes, we heard that you terminated her kunoichi license and disbanded Team 7 as a whole. While you didn't punish that boy, Kazashi says carefully. Glared at them, she had expected for the little to run to her parents for help. And just why should I give Sakura a chance, Mr. and Mrs. is Haruno? Tsunade asked them, staring at them intently. Both parents exchanged looks at each other and faced Tsunade. They had to say their words carefully without pissing her off. Because Sakura is an excellent girl, surely you've heard how good she was in the Shinobi Academy. Being the smartest of her class and was kunoichi of the year top of her class, Mebuki started. Tsunade held a skeptical expression as she faced Kazashi. Yes, it pains her to see that you terminated her kunoichi license. She would have been a promising kunoichi to you to serve in your ranks. Maybe even learn from you and be your apprentice, since we hear that boy is with Jar-sama. Kazashi says. Tsunade's eyes narrowed lightly. Please, just please give our daughter and Team 7 another chance. Mebuki begged. Your daughter ruined her chance as kunoichi the moment she started abusing her teammate verbally and physically, and I will not tolerate that. Tsunade spoke with venom. Come on, Hokage-sama, you're being unfair. Our dear Sakura would tell us how the Uzumaki boy would constantly harass her and get on her nerves. Kazashi replied, yes, he wouldn't leave her alone and always wants to go on dates with her when she's clearly not interested in him. She's interested in Sama. Miyuki added, it's not right for you to do what you did to our daughter. That boy deserves much as a punishment than she did. Kazashi says. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Not right. Do you realize who you are talking to? Tsunade spoke in a low, dangerous tone. This made the parents sweat, seeing the angry glare appear on Tsunade's face. Let me explain something to the two of you coming in my office begging and pleading for me to give your weak-ass little of a daughter another chance. Here's my response. No, snapped. What? How could you say that about our daughter? What did she do to deserve this? You're abusing your power as Hokage. Kazashi yelled. Yes, and you are parading yourself around. That boy. Miyuki spat as Tsunade glared at her. What's that? Snarled. You heard me. I heard a saucy rumor that you went on a little date with that Uzumaki boy. Miyuki spat. Either you let our daughter and Team 7 back in service or we will expose this to the council, along with you abusing your power as Hokage and having favoritism for the Uzumaki boy. Kazashi threatened, hoping this would get to see things their way. Glare increased and you could have sworn you saw fire ignite in her eyes at the threat. As there was silence between the three, lowered her gaze. Ah, we see you understand now, will you? Kazashi spoke. Anbunade called out as the Anbu appeared. Yes, Tsunade-sama asked. Yuga as her squad faced Tsunade, making the parents look worried. Hey, what's going on? Miyuki asked. Arrest these two. Tsunade commanded, shocking the pair. What? You can't do this to us. Kazashi yelled in horror. I can and will want to. Know why? Because I'm the Hogue and you two pieces of dare making a bribe or threat. Yelled. Get them out of my sight. Barked. Wait, what about our daughter? Miyuki screamed as both her and her husband were escorted out the office, arrested, and on their way to jail. Sinu home. I'll be back, guys. Going to get us a bite to eat. Naruto says with clean clothes on and was on his way out the door. Obviously, Tsunade and Shizune didn't feel like cooking due to them out of commission. Tsunade would have the energy to cook, but she can't move since she's stuffed full of his cum. Konoha streets. Nar was just casually walking the streets going to get him and his ladies some food. Getting all of their favorites. He loves ramen. Loves chicken tenders or chicken. Then Shizune loves brown rice. He would go to one restaurant that sells both Tsunade's and Shazin's favorites. When he walked in, everyone saw him but looked away. When Nar approached the counter, receptionist gave him a glare. "And how may I help you?" he says, glaring at Nar. "Ah, yes, can I have an order of brown rice and chicken tenders?" Nar told him, "I would like to ask you to leave." The host says, trying to get Nar to leave the restaurant. Frowning, Nar decided to try something. "But I have to pick up this order from my mamad," Nar says, shocking everyone in the restaurant, including the host and chefs. What? You can't be related to Tsunade-sama. He says she recently adopted me. Nar countered while the host didn't know what to say on this matter. "So, if you won't give me my mother's food, she'll get angry," Nar says as the look of fear appeared on host's face, having heard of Tsunade's legendary temper, and he did not want to be on the receiving end of it. "Well, get your order ready," the host says immediately, while Nar smiled. 10 minutes later. "Here you go," the host says, giving the 2 boxes of brown rice and chicken tenders to Nar as the boy reached for his toad wallet, but the host stopped him. "It's on the house," he says, making Nar smile more as he walked off with the food. Now back on the streets, Nar would bump into a pair of women who looked very much like Ka. And who are they exactly? The woman on the left with a ponytail and flanked with 3 dogs is Hana Inuzuka, clan heiress and big sister of Ka Inuzuka and Sum's firstborn. The one on the right with spiky wild brown hair is Sum, the leader and clan head of the Inuzuka clan, mother of both Hana and Ka. "Hello Nar," Hana says smiling, giving the boy a wave. Nar, "Oh, so you're the runt that beat my son Ka," soon says, eyeing the boy up and down, taking in his features. "Hello Hana and Mrs. Inuzuka," Nar greeted, still holding the box of food. "What are you doing?" "Me and mother are shopping," Hana asked him while Sum stared at Nar, looking at the boy who beat her son in the Tunin exams. Her nose twitched when she sniffed Nar. "Oh, I'm just getting food for Lady Tsunade and Shizune," he told them honestly, but noticed the look Sun was giving him as she stared intently at him. Sunam's paw when she sniffed the air around her surrounding Nar. Sunam caught not just Naruto's scent, but suddenly Tsunade's and Shizune's on him. Tsunade's scent on him was stronger than Shisun's, and that raised flags for the Inuzuka clan head. But she also smelled something else surrounding Nar. She smells the scent of dominance surrounding him. That aura of him of an alpha. What the hell, she thought, taking in the scent, blinking her eyes. Although Nar cleaned himself up and put on fresh new clothes, Tsunade's scent was still on him heavily, and that raised flags and questions in Sum's. Hana turned to notice the strange look Sun was giving to Nar. "Mom," she called out. But Sum was too locked onto Nar to even acknowledge her daughter calling her. Nar himself noticed the uneasy look from Sunam, and it worried him for some reason, as he had known an Inuzuka's nose is very sensitive, and he hoped she wasn't smelling what she thought she was smelling. "So kid, you've been close with Tsunade-sama, have you?" Sun says, suddenly breaking the silence. Nar did his best to not look nervous from Sum's stern expression. "Why, yes, she's training me right now and has recently adopted me," Nar says, with both women raising eyebrows at this. "Really? That must be nice," Sum says, putting her hands on her hips. Naruto's eyes zoom up and down, taking in her appearance. Looking at her and wide hips too that are curvier, looking at her body as his eyes shot over to Hana's, looking that she shares the same similar appearance of her mother. He would remember words to him earlier. "Think of all the women you can bed with and get them pregnant," she says huskily, leaning to him. Soon noticed he was looking at her body and her daughters, but chose not to say anything. "Well, I have to go now. It was nice chatting with you. Don't want their food to get cold. Goodbye," Nar says, immediately walking past them as they both stared at him, watching him leave. "Goodbye, take care," Hana says as she noticed her mother was burning her eyes at Naruto's retreating form. "Mother, what's wrong?" she asked. "It's nothing, Hana, let's get a move on," Sun told her daughter as they turned to leave, but soon casted one last glance at Nar. "I think I'm going to pay the Hokage a personal visit very soon," Sunam thought as she suspected something going on between Nar and Tsunade as she recognized the familiar scent on the two. That faint smell she smelled on Naruto was the scent of ramen stand. "Phew, that was close. I may have to tell Chan about Sunam. I have a striking feeling that she knows something from the way she was looking at me." Naruto says himself on his way to the ramen stand while still holding Tsunade's and Shien's food. From a faraway corner of a building, a certain Indigo was watching Naruto from afar. Naruto Hinata says softly, watching him from a distance. "Hey old man Tuki and big sis Yame." Nar greeted the pair. "Hello my favorite customer. How you've been?" Tuki says, "Hello, Naruto, you've been good, haven't you?" Ayame greeted back, "Yes, I am, and guess what? I've been promoted to Chunin by Mamad." He revealed as the two gasped in surprise that he's been promoted, but their surprise grew more when he revealed Tsunade adopted him. "Of course, I no longer have to live in that crappy apartment anymore. I live in her house now. I feel a big change coming to my life," he says happily as Ayame noticed the boxes of food in his hands. "What are those?" Ayame asked. "Oh, this is for Tsunade and Shizune." He answered, "Well, I'm proud of you. As a reward for you making Chunin, I'll cook you 10 bowls of ramen on the house." Tuki says as Naruto's smile grew bigger. As Tuki went behind the kitchen to start cooking, Ayame was left with Nar alone. "I'm happy for you, Naruto, you are finally being noticed," she says with a smile, making him smile as he eyed up at Ayame's pretty smile as he looked at her developing body. A mental image appeared in his mind, remembering Tsunade's words to him again. He wondered what would it be like if Ayame was his woman. If he made Ayame his woman, she could be his legitimate personal ramen chef and wife. That made him smile as he had hard eyes, fantasizing Ayame as his wife serving him hundreds of bowls of ramen in the Senju household. Along with her being pregnant with his children, he would love the idea to make Ayame his wife. Did encourage him to have multiple women if he wants to bring back his clan. Plus, Ayame is nice to him and was his big sister before Shizune. He would have to get approval from old man Tuki, knowing the old man is somewhat protective of his daughter and doesn't think no man or boy is good enough for his sweet daughter and would gut them with his knife if they broke her heart. He would suddenly daydream of Ayame cooking all varieties of ramen in the Senju household for him and his big growing family. The more he thought about having Ayame as a wife made him happier at such idea. "Say Ayame-chan, have you ever thought about getting married?" he asked her as she was caught off guard by such question. "That depends if the boy I love is sweet, gentle and caring. For me that's all that matters, and it would have to be someone my father would approve." She answered, "You know daddy has scared off many who would be interested in me." She reminded him most of the many men or boys were creeps in general, and Tuki would stand by his daughter with his knife in hand with a very intimidating stare and cage-level killer intent. And from that point on, no one made a move on Ayame out of fear that Tuki would gut them like fish with his knife. Nar shivered lightly, remembering the scary aura Tuki would give off if someone was looking at his daughter in a certain way. "What made you ask, are looking to get married? Have you finally confessed Sakura? Has she returned your feelings?" Ayame asked. She had known who Sakura was. His teammate and Nar would occasionally talk about her a lot when he comes to the stand to eat. This made Naruto's smile fade a bit at the mention of Sakura. I'm not interested in Sakura anymore. I'm actually interested in someone else," he revealed, shocking not just Ayame, but Tuki as well as he stopped cooking. "What? You stopped liking Sakura? What changed?" Tuki asked from the kitchen. "Well, Mama Tsunade says, I need to be with someone who would acknowledge me and return my feelings. As you can see, Sakura would never do such thing with me." Nar replay. "I never did like her. Honestly, I personally think she isn't meant for you either." Naruto Ayame says, "You think so?" he asked as she nodded. "I think it's for the best. Stay with Sama's advice. I'm sure you'll find a girl or woman who loves you for who you are and not think of you differently." Ayame told him, "That's what I'm working on. I plan to have a big family. I'm from a clan, too. Did you know the Uzumaki is an actual clan?" he says, surprising the two that he's from a clan, too. Tuki, who was still cooking ramen, listened as he suspected something that Naruto was related to her, related to Kusha Uzuki, who would also come here to his restaurant and eat ramen. He could practically see the resemblance between Naro and Kusha. Both love ramen and both love to prank. Had he known, he would have fought tooth and nail to adopt Nar. He wants to make it up to his favorite customer. "That's great to hear, Naruto. That you are from a clan," Ayame says with a smile. And it was right at that moment Tuki had came out the kitchen with 10 bowls of ramen to go into go boxes. "Here you go, my boy. You don't have to pay. Consider it on the house," he told Nar, who smiled, summoning 10 shadow clones. "Why, thanks old man Tuki and Ayame-chan. See you guys later." Gotta get going, he told them as he and his clones would all get ready to leave, walking away as they waved him goodbye. As he walked with his clones from the corner, Sakura Haruno had spotted Nar as she called out to him. "Hi, Nar," Sakura says with a fake smile, approaching him while he turned to look at her, noticing a change in her behavior as his clones noticed the same thing. "Sakura, hello, what do you want?" he asked, wanting to see what is she up to. "Oh, nothing, just wanted to see how are you doing. What's that you got there?" she asked. "It's me and Mahmoud's favorite foods along with Big Sis Shizune's," he answered as she blinked when he called Tsunade. Mama, she adopted you?" she asked, making him nod. "Isn't that great, and best of all, I'm a Tsunin now," he declared, making her frown lightly, trying to restrain her anger and frustration. "That rank should have belonged to Sasha," she said mentally, not wanting to say it verbally. "She has to look nice. Do you have a moment?" she asked him. He saw that maybe it didn't hurt. He wanted to see what did Sakura want. "Hey guys, take the food." "I'll follow up," he told his clones, handing them and Shazin's food. With the clones gone, Sakura started. "Did you know your mama disbanded Team 7? She asked, making him look surprised. "What she did?" he asked, seeing her nod. "Yes, it's so unfair. How could she do this to us? She even went so far to separate you from us. We should be a team," she said. Nar remained silent as he listened to Sakura rant and complain about how unfair his Mahmoud was. "Please Nar, can't you convince your Mahmoud to give us another chance? Bring Team 7 back and we can be together again," she pleaded, looking innocent as possible. "I don't know. Sakura mom is the Hogue and her decisions are absolute," he says. "Please at least try talking to her and reasoning with her. I can't grasp with being a civilian, and neither can Sasaki. Please try to convince her to reform Team 7. If you do this, I'll go on a date with you," she says. Nar frowned heavily at this. Why the sudden change in behavior? She's being nice, have not yelled at him or not once hit him. And why now she's choosing to go on a date with him? Something didn't add up with Sakura. Why the sudden change? Why go on a date with me now? After all the other times I've asked you out, and you always flat out rejected them, he asked with suspicion. Sakura froze, now thinking on how to counter this. She knew he had a point, but she must convince him to get to reform Team 7. Because Nar, surely you still care about me, right? You're Sakura Aiken, she said, hoping to use this. Nar paused, silently processing this. Is she trying to manipulate him? What are you trying to do? Do this for yourself or for Sasaki? He said in a hard tone. What are you talking about? All I want is for us to be a team and be together again. Isn't that what you want? Be by my side and Sasaki, she countered. To tell you the truth, Sakura. No, he answered as she stared at him with wide eyes. What did he just say? Inner Sakura yelled. Sakura looked completely taken back by this. She even noticed he didn't call her Sakura-chan. What do you mean? No, she questioned. Because Mama Tsunade plans to train me as her sole student, and I rather be with her than the likes of you, Sasaki and Kakashi. He answered. Sakura was still trying to contain her anger and frustration. That old she's behind this, Inner Sakura yelled, scowling. She can see the influence has over Nar. Just what did she do to get him to like her? She needed to say her next words carefully without getting mad. Why is she your mama? Never took you to be a mama's boy, she said. Because it's the one thing I wanted, a parent, which is something you have. He answered back. And what does she have that we don't? Your team? She questioned. Of course, Sakura. Tsunade is a legendary Sannin, is among the strongest women in Konoha. But there is more to this. Love, he answered. Love, Nar, she's way too old. You shouldn't love her that way, she says with disgust. So, better than being rejected by you, he countered. Now, that stung her. Come on, Nar, are you really that attached to that old bag? I want you to convince her to let Team 7 be reformed. She nearly yelled. Naruto narrowed his eyes angrily at her, which surprised her. Don't disrespect my Sade-chan like that ever again. Sakura, I know what this is all about. This isn't about getting the team together, is it? He questioned with rare anger towards her. I don't know what she tried to say, but he cut her off with an outburst. Don't lie to me, he snapped, making her jump in shock. It isn't about me, it's just about you and Sasaki, is it? He accused, realizing she's been caught. Her silence literally confirmed that was the case. Naruto, that's not true. She defended, yes it is. You'll do anything for Sasaki. I swear both you and Kakashi always remain as Uchiha ass-kissers to that. Nar yelled to the top of his lungs. You watch what you say about Sasaki-kun. She yelled. I can say whatever the hell I want to say about that prick. It's always Sasaki this, Sasaki that. I'm sick of it, you Kakashi. And this whole of a village always praise him like he's Kam's child. He said with anger, you don't understand. He's the last of the Uchiha clan. His entire family was wiped out by his older brother. You don't know nothing of his pain. Sakura shouted. Sakura was seeing red. She refuses to have Sasaki be disrespected by Naruto. I don't know pain, he hissed, narrowing his eyes. No, you don't. You're just an orphan with no family. It wouldn't surprise me if your parents abandoned you. So, you don't know what type of pain Sasaki is dealing with, losing his whole family overnight. She shouted, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. How dare she say that? How is Sasaki's pain compared to his own? And she flat out insulted him that his own parents abandoned him, which was a lie. The Kaiyu's chakra was leaking dangerously with killer intent induced. After everything Sade told him about Sakura, she was right. Nar was barely controlling his growing rage. Sakura felt the killer intent and realized she went too far and that she destroyed whatever chance she could use to get Nar to convince. Seeing Nar this mad scared her as she backed away in fear of what he could do to her as she raised her hands up. Nar was livid. He was trying to restrain himself from killing her. Nar, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, she tried to say, but then something unexpected happened. A hand struck Sakura's face that had knocked her into a building wall. And it wasn't Naruto's hand. Nar gasped in shock at who struck Sakura. Standing where Sakura stood, it was Hinata Hyuga with her Bugen glaring hatefully at Sakura. Hinata, Naruto says, looking shocked and surprised by this. Sakura groaned in pain as she recollected herself and saw Hinata glaring at her with burning rage. You ungrateful, how could you say something like that? Hinata spat in disdain towards Sakura, who could only look at Hinata in shock that the shy Hinata Hyuga was pissed. I've about had it with you treating Naruto this way. Like, who do you think you are? Hinata ranted as Naruto stood in complete silence watching Hinata rant at Sakura and as defending him as he silently remembered what Tsunade told him. You need real women and girls who will return their affection and acknowledgement towards you. Ringed in his head, staring at Hinata in a brand new light. Nar would take Tsunade's words to heart. Before Hinata could continue her rant, she felt a hand on her shoulder and made her turn to Nar, who looked at her in happiness that had made her face reddened and expression softened. Hinata-chan, let's forget about this trash. Don't waste your time with this one. Come with me, he says with a smile, gesturing her to follow him. Hinata smiled as she knew this was her moment, so she would go with him. Sure, Naruto, Hinata says as they both would begin to walk away while Naruto wraps his arm around Hinata as if they are a couple that had made Hinata happier and blushing much brighter. Oh my Kami, his arm is around me. Khan's arm is around me. Hinata thought with her cheeks rosy pink. Sakura looked up weakly with angry tears of sadness and betrayal. She lost Nar to not just Jade but Hinata. Her plan on getting Naruto to plead with Tsunade to reform Team 7 has failed. Hopefully, her parents were successful in doing something about it. Little did Sakura Haruno know was that her life is going to take a drastic change. Hokage Tower's shadow clone had monitored Nar via the crystal ball and she seemed happy that Nar is following her advice. It seems Sun likely has her eyes set on Naruto and likely knows something is up between her and Naruto. Tsunade knew she could probably tell soon some details. That's not all she witnessed. She witnessed him talking with Ayame's mental image of Ayame in their family being their personal ramen chef for her stud and growing family. She definitely approves, but the one who she likes the most is Hinata, who stepped in and defended Naruto from that pink-haired little was livid. She had warned Sakura to stay away from Naruto. Time to show the little that she wasn't playing. Anbu, she called out as 3 Anbu appeared and bowed to Tsunade. Yes, Hokage-sama, they said. Arrest Sakura Haruno, she's charged with harassment. Commanded as they nodded and would leave to carry out the order. Whenever she gets the chance, she's going to personally see Sakura in prison and beat the living hell out of her. She will not tolerate anyone who looks or talks about Naruto in a wrong way. Naruto and Hinata would be seen walking together on their way back to the Senju estate as Naruto would tell Hinata that a big change was going to happen in his life. Hinata was staring at her hand linked with Naruto's. His face lit up like a Christmas tree, blushing and looking at him as he talked. I can't believe this is happening. Naruto-kun is actually noticing me, were her thoughts. So yeah, Hinata-chan, I'm also living with Tsunade-chan now. He tells her as her face was a brighter shade of pink due to him calling her Hinata-chan, which makes her happier. He no longer has any feelings for Sakura and has dropped the Sakura-chan, meaning he cut ties with Sakura, which is good for her because now Naruto will be looking at her now instead of Sakura. Hey Hinata-chan, can I ask you something? He asked her. Sure Naruto-kun, what is it? She asked with a smile. Do you like me? He asked out of the blue, which caught her off guard that he asked that question. She blushed further. She can't hesitate, this is her chance to admit her feelings to him. Especially with Sakura out of the way, she can finally muster up the courage to say how she feels towards him. Why yes. I do Naruto-kun. I like you very much. She confirmed, making the boy smile. I like you too Hinata-chan. He would say, which caught her off guard. This surprised her, he likes her too. He likes me. Naruto-kun likes me, thought Hinata with her face having a rosy color. We should hang out more often Hinata-chan. You and I think Mama Tsunade would approve. Naruto says. Mama, Hinata asked as Naruto chuckled. Oh right, you don't know. Tsunade adopted me as her son. He revealed, which made her happy. That's great that Tsunade-sama has taken you in as her son. Naruto-kun, I'm happy for you, Hinata says as Naruto smiled. Want to come with me back to Mama Tsunade's house with me? He asked her as she nodded since she had nothing to do. All right, come, I have an extra bowl of ramen so you and I can eat. He told her with a big smile. The two would walk off into the distance. As the onlookers watched the pair leave, although they were watched by someone else who happened to see the pair. Ino Yamanaka couldn't believe her eyes. Naruto has moved on, no longer interested in her best friend Sakura. What changed? Naruto is seeing Hinata. Are they dating? She thought to herself. Does Forehead know about this? Has he seriously moved on from his crush on Sakura? Oh, Sakura, your loss is Hinata's gain. Ino says in thought. What Ino didn't know was that Sakura had her kunoichi license revoked by Tsunade and that Sakura is currently in jail right now. Ino wanted to visit her friend's house to tell her this information. She wanted to see the look on Sakura's face. Since she knows her best friend loves Sasuke. In their fight in the Chunin exams, Ino gave up her love for Sasuke and declared that Sakura can have him. She had known about Naruto's affection for her best friend and she never returned them to her fellow blonde. Sakura must feel pretty stupid right now. When she reached to the Haruno residence, she noticed the house is empty. No one was home, not even her parents. Where did Fathead go? Ino wondered, not seeing Sakura or her parents home. As she searched the house for her friend and went into her room. Sakura's bedroom was empty. That was until Ino discovered something on Sakura's table. It was a piece of paper. Ino walked over to the table and picked it up, reading its contents until her eyes went from disbelief and shock at what she was reading. Sakura's kunoichi license revoked, she said out loud. She noticed the Hokage seal stamp on the license that's been revoked. This surprised Ino greatly. Sakura is no longer a kunoichi. She wondered, why, and wondered, is this why Sakura isn't home? Perhaps she can visit the Hokage to inquire on why Sakura had her license revoked. Did Sakura do something wrong that made her license revoked? Senju estate. Both Tsunade and Shizune were both cleaning themselves up, taking a bath to wash away the smell of sweat, cum and sex off of them, since Naruto's clones told them that the real Naruto is bringing Hinata over. While at the same time also cleaning up Tsunade's bedroom. Tsunade put on a new set of clean clothes, as did Shizune. After doing the deed, they heard the door knock and Shizune immediately went over to open it, revealing Naruto and Hinata. Hi big sis Shizune, Naruto greeted. Welcome back Naruto-kun, and I see you've brought Hinata-chan with you. Come on in, Shizune would say with a smile. The pair walked in and would go to the dining room, with Tsunade there sitting at the table setting up everyone's food. She turned to face her stud and Hinata. Welcome Hinata-chan, I see Naruto-kun brought you here as a date. She says smiling. Why yes Tsunade-sama, how are you doing? Hinata answered. Great, very great, and you? Tsunade replied. Gee good, Hinata answered. Come sit and eat with us tilde, let's sit down like a family tilde, Tsunade says with a big smile. As the four ate their food, Tsunade was sitting across from Naruto and Hinata with Shizune next to her. She had not taken her eyes off of Hinata and smiled with lustful intent. She needed to speak with Hinata privately. Sometime later, after eating their food, Tsunade turned to Naruto. Naruto-kun, why don't you go help Shizune with the dishes? I want to talk with Hinata alone. Tsunade told him, who nodded. All right mama, Naruto says, smiling, already know what Tsunade meant by talking. Hinata, could you come with me please? Tsunade asked her. As the girl nodded, as Tsunade would guide her to her now fully cleaned bedroom with scented candles lit to block the smell from earlier. Hinata herself was a little nervous, wondering what Tsunade-sama wants to talk to her about. Now alone in the room, and this time she outsound barriers in the room. She fully faced Hinata. Tell me Hinata, how much do you really love my son? Tsunade asked. Very much, Tsunade-sama, but there might be a problem for us if we are in a relationship. Hinata answered. And that would be? Tsunade asked. My father. He probably wouldn't like the idea of us dating, though. Hinata said, as Tsunade had already anticipated this. Knowing the stuck-up Hyuga elders and Hiashi for their stupid tradition. I'm not surprised by this. Knowing your father and the Hyuga elders put a lot of pressure on you, do they? Tsunade says with a raised eyebrow, making her nod. I approve of you being with Naruto-kun. But there's one thing you need to know, Hinata. She says with Hinata facing her. Know what? Hinata asked. Know that I am Naruto-kun's girlfriend. Tsunade revealed. When those words were uttered, Hinata had to process what the Senju lady just told her. There was a long pregnant pause. What? Hinata gasped, eyes wide, looking at Tsunade. This has to be some kind of joke, right? Now, don't be sad, Hinata-chan. I know what you're thinking. You think you lost a chance with Naruto, yes? Tsunade says with Hinata nodding, looking a little sad. Well, here's the thing. You still have a chance. Tsunade says with Hinata blinking. Huh, what is it? The shy girl asked. I can share Naruto with you. She said with Hinata still not getting the gist of it. How? She said. Naruto is from a clan. Tsunade says with Hinata looking shocked. Naruto-kun is from a clan. Hinata repeated. Yes, the Uzumaki clan is real. It's a real clan and is one of the founders for Konoha, Tsunade confirmed. Also he is the son of the Yondaime Hokage. Tsunade would reveal as Hinata was blown away by this revelation. Her crush is the son of this village's Hokage. But wait. If that's the case, then why? Wait a minute, Tsunade-sama, if Naruto-kun is the son of the Yondaime, why is he treated differently here? Why doesn't the village recognize him as the son of their beloved Hokage? Hinata asked. As you know, Hinata, apparently both my idiot sensei and ex-teammate did what they thought was right by protecting Naruto from his parents' enemies by not revealing Naruto his heritage. Tsunade answered. But I don't understand, how could the village hate Naruto-kun? Why do they call him a monster? I've seen how parents would tell their kids to stay away from him. Hinata asked. What do you know about the Kyuubi attack? Tsunade asked her. Iruka's sensei told us that the Yondaime defeated the Kyuubi. Hinata says, remembering Iruka's historic lesson. True, but that is not the whole story. Minato and Kushina, Naruto's mother, both sacrificed their lives to save their son from the Kyuubi and sealed the fox into Naruto. Tsunade said. So the fox is a kunai, and Naruto-kun is the scroll. Hinata asked with Tsunade nodding. Exactly, Tsunade confirmed. So Hinata, now that you know Naruto holds the Kyuubi, would you think differently of him? She says, wanting to test the girl. Of course not, I still love Naruto-kun just the way he is. Hinata said as Tsunade smiled, getting the answer she wanted to hear. Now I just need to coach that girl into being bold. Tsunade thought. I'm pleased to hear that. Since I'm allowing you to date Naruto-kun is because Naruto-kun is under the CRA Clan Restoration Act. He's as the last of his clan and must restore his clan with women of his choice, whether they become his wives or concubines. I'm the first. Shizune is also a part of being Naruto's girlfriend too. Tsunade revealed, shocking Hinata that Shizune is in on this too. Tsunade reached out and grabbed Hinata's hands into hers. Join our family. Hinata-chan, if you want to be wife material for Naruto-kun, you need to come out of your shell and start being bold. Tsunade says with Hinata having a concerned expression. But what about my father and the elders? Hinata asked her. You let me worry about Hiashi and the elders. From now on you're my apprentice. And if they don't approve, you can come with me and join mine and Naruto-kun's family. Tsunade answered. This would make Hinata more determined to be with Naruto and become his wife. As she pictured herself in a wedding dress holding flowers and giving Naruto a kiss, standing beside Tsunade and Shizune, who wore similar wedding dresses. With Hanabi being the flower girl. I'll do it. I want to learn from you, Tsunade-sama. Please teach me on how to be a proper girlfriend for Naruto-kun. Hinata said as Tsunade smiled further. Time to teach Hinata on how to be bold and assert her dominance. Tsunade says, mentally already cooking plans on corrupting Hinata. Elsewhere, Kurenai sneezed. What's wrong? Asuma asked her. I don't know, I just felt a disturbance, Kurenai said, not sure what made her sneeze. Hiyashi and the elders also sneezed. Konoha prison. Sakura could only sit in her private jail cell. She was at a loss for what was happening to her. Her parents weren't home. When she got there, wondering if they were successful, only to see the house empty. And by the time she could call out to her mom and dad, Anbu arrived to arrest her. Sakura wasn't aware that her parents are arrested just like she was. Tsunade had ordered Sakura to be placed in a private cell. Sakura asked what did she do that she had to go to jail for. The charge was denied that she did not harass anyone. She was just talking to her teammate, hoping to convince him to get Tsunade to reform Team 7. But her plan failed, and now Naruto will never look at her the same way again. She blames Tsunade. Tsunade likely did something to get Naruto to not think about her anymore. The cell doors opened, as Sakura looked up, hoping it was her parents who probably heard of her in jail and came to bail her out. But unfortunately, Sakura's hope faded, as she saw the one person she did not want to see. It was Tsunade Senju, and she looked livid. I warned you to stay away from him, Tsunade says, coldly glaring at Sakura. Sakura immediately realized something, as her eyes widened. It was you had me arrested. My parents will hear about this. Sakura yelled. What parents? They are in prison too. Tsunade countered. This startled Sakura. What? You can't be serious. Sakura yelled. I am. Didn't think I wouldn't see through your little tactic. Run to your parents to bitch and moan about what I did to make you a civilian and no longer a kunoichi. Tsunade retorted. They tried to bribe me and threatened me. So it was within my right to have them arrested. Tsunade said. Then I see you tried to talk to my Naruto-kun to convince me to reform Team 7, yes? Tsunade added, with Sakura going silent. Sakura froze, unable to say anything, confirming that she did attempt that. Your parents won't come to save you. They will be serving their sentences. Tsunade says. What did you do to Naruto? Why do you have him wrapped around your finger? Sakura demanded. I don't see why. Is that your business? Why concern for Naruto now? You don't care about him. You care about your precious Uchiha, don't you? Tsunade said with narrowed eyes. Sakura glared. He said he loved you, so don't bullshit me. Sakura snapped. You hag, you probably seduced him. Sakura screamed at Tsunade. Tsunade roughly grabbed Sakura by the neck and slammed her up against the wall. I think it's time someone teach you some manners. I warned you to stay away from Naruto. And for that, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. I'm not going to kill you. Tsunade says, raising her fist in the air ready to pummel Sakura. And since you did that, I'm going to make your life a living hell for all what you did to my Naruto-kun, she said. You old bag, this is abuse. You're abusing your power as Hokage. Someone help, Sakura screamed. There's no one here on this cell block but me and you. Tsunade revealed as she had told the guards to leave. Sakura's eyes were filled with terror, realizing she's completely fucked. Anything to say before you get beat on? Tsunade asked. Sakura's response. She glared defiantly at Tsunade and spat in her face in hatred at the woman who was going to make her life a living hell. Tsunade wiped the spit off her face and gave her a twisted, sadistic look. Without saying a word, Tsunade started pummeling her fists into Sakura, who screamed. Tsunade's fists impacted upon Sakura's face and body, bruising her and damaging her as Sakura's screams echoed throughout the cell block. Someone help me please. Sakura screamed, but no matter what, she had forgotten that there was no one on this cell block and that it was just her and Tsunade alone. The beating lasted for an hour. Tsunade glared down at Sakura's broken body as she was covered with bruises, black eyes, missing teeth from her mouth. Sakura twitched in pain as she cried tears. I think that's enough for now, Tsunade says, now emitting healing chakra to heal some of Sakura's injuries. She wasn't going to beat Sakura to the point of death. Just so you know, this is only the beginning of your punishment, she added as Sakura looked up weakly with her one good eye. What? Sakura asked weakly. You thought I was playing? I meant what I said. This is for all the times you abused and mistreated Naruto, Tsunade says. So when you're healed and relieved, be ready for another beating, Tsunade says, walking away, heading to the cell door, and left Sakura. Sakura would only cry alone in her cell. Sasuke-kun, mother, father, help me, please save me, Sakura cried. In the backyard of the Senju garden, Tsunade would be training both Naruto and Hinata chakra super strength. As they watched how Tsunade demonstrated her strength upon a boulder. Now you two just gotta compress chakra into your fists or legs. I will teach you all of that later on perhaps. Tsunade says. Okay, Naruto says with Hinata nodding. Well, I better get back home, father is probably waiting for me. Hinata says. Okay, it was good having you here Hinata. You're welcome here anytime, Tsunade would say keeping a smile. With that, Hinata would bow her head towards both Naruto and Tsunade and would leave the Senju estate. I take it you allowed Hinata-chan in on our little family dream? Naruto asked Tsunade, who nodded to her stud. Of course, now I just need a plan on how to fully corrupt her Tilda, Tsunade says, now cooking a plan in her head on how to get the Hyuga girl corrupted. I'm sure you'll find a way Tsunade-chan. He says, walking to her and grabbed her ass, making her moan a bit as she eyed down her boyfriend, future husband, as they walked away. While Tsunade was thinking of a perfect plan to get Hinata involved, a smile lit on her face along with a lightbulb flicking above her head. She thought of the perfect plan. Hokage office. Tsunade Senju, shadow clone, is currently doing paperwork since the real Tsunade is with her love. That was until she heard a knock at the door. Enter. Tsunade says without looking until the doors did open, revealing one Ino Yamanaka. Making the Senju lady look up to her. Oh, Ino Yamanaka, you must be Inoichi's daughter. How may I help you today? Tsunade says, now having her focus on the blonde-haired girl. Well Hokage-sama, I've came to ask you about this. Ino says, holding up Sakura's kunoichi license termination. Tsunade raised a brow, wasn't the least surprised that Ino knows about Sakura's punishment. Oh. And just where did you get that? She asked. I visited Sakura's house, the place was empty, I was looking for her to tell her about Naruto seeing Hinata. Ino says. And what about Naruto seeing Hinata? Do you find something wrong with that? Tsunade questioned. Of course not. I'm just surprised, that's all, and just thought she should know since Naruto constantly goes after Sakura and she rejects him in favor of Sasuke. Ino says while Tsunade kept a stern expression, but in the inside she was fuming and will double Sakura's punishment. Naruto is no longer interested in Sakura. Care to know why? Tsunade asked with Ino nodding. I'm the reason I told him to move on from Sakura. She revealed with Ino raising a brow. You. But that's impossible, the idiot would always. Ino says, but froze seeing the glare formed on Tsunade's face. I suggest you watch what you say. Regarding Naruto around my presence, do you understand? Tsunade says sternly. I apologize, Tsunade-sama. Ino says. You're forgiven for now. Tsunade says. I will not tolerate anyone bad-mouthing or talking about Naruto in a certain wrong way. Tsunade added. So you get a pass. Unlike Sakura. Tsunade says. Ino was confused on why Tsunade was so defensive about Naruto. But she had to keep her mouth shut, not wanting to risk getting the older Senju angry. Since her father often told stories of Tsunade's known temper. Something tells me Sakura did something to piss you off, right? Ino asked. That she did. And not just her, but the rest of Team 7 except Naruto. Tsunade confirmed. What did they do? She asked. Well, for starters, that team is a failure. It's unbalanced. Kakashi constantly favors Sasuke Uchiha over his other students, neglecting them in the process, and Sakura is the abuser on the team and Kakashi never steps in to keep her in line. Tsunade firmly said. Is that why Sakura's kunoichi license got revoked? Ino asked with Tsunade nodding. Sakura is also weak. She doesn't show signs of being a proper kunoichi. She is just dead weight and is unfit to be a kunoichi. She only wants to be a kunoichi to impress that Uchiha brat and expect him to save her. That's pure laziness and Kakashi never bothered to set her straight. Tsunade added. But Sakura has always been kunoichi of the year. Ino pointed out. And you think because of her book smarts, that's supposed to keep her in my ranks as a kunoichi? Tsunade retorted. And don't get me started on her embarrassing match in the preliminary exams with you. Tsunade says, making Ino freeze up, hoping Tsunade doesn't chew her out for her match. I'm not just disappointed in her, but you as well. You two were fighting over a boy who isn't worth anything. Tsunade says. This made Ino flinch and look away. I want real kunoichi, not pathetic good-for-nothing fangirls who are expecting their knights in shining armor to save their ass. Tsunade says with a slight glare. What can I do to make you see that I'm not a fangirl? Ino asked. What can you do? Get your shit together and act like a proper kunoichi. What I'm saying is don't be like Sakura. Tsunade told her. Take your training seriously. Act dependent. She added. I'll do it. But would it be okay if I learn from you? Ino asked. The moment those words were heard, Tsunade smiled mentally. Learn from me. May I ask why? She asked. To make myself better. I want to be a kunoichi that you can be proud of. Ino answered. Tsunade stared at Ino for any deceptions or lies, but found none. From the report of her fight with Sakura, it was stated that Ino gave up Sasuke Uchiha. Though she could still break Ino out of whatever fangirl phase she still held onto. And if Ino was this close to beating Sakura in the preliminary rounds, then there's hope for this girl's potential to develop. If you want to learn from me, you will have to do as I say. Understand? Tsunade says with Ino nodding. I feel that you have potential to be a great kunoichi. Ino. Tsunade says. And I do not want such potential wasted. She added. Plus, you won't be the only one I am training. She revealed, making Ino look confused. Huh, who? Ino asked. Naruto and Hinata. Tsunade answered. You're training them too. Why? Ino asked. Because I see lots of potential in both of them. Naruto especially. You have the possibility to develop your potential just like them. Tsunade says. But I don't get it. Isn't Naruto still learning from Kakashi and Jiraiya of the Toads? Ino questioned. Not anymore. Those two wasted Naruto's potential and will continue to fail him. Me on the other hand, I will draw out Naruto's real potential unlike them. She revealed. Ino would have to reluctantly accept having to work with Naruto and Hinata under Tsunade. If she wants to prove Tsunade that she can be a proper kunoichi. Are you in or not? Tsunade asked the girl. I'll do it. I'll learn from you, Tsunade-sensei. She says, making the Senju woman smile. Good, good. I'm happy to hear that you're willing to do this. Tsunade says. I won't just mold her into a proper kunoichi but a potential future lover for my stud Tilda, she thought. How soon can I train with you? Ino asked. You will train with me when I summon you. I'll be talking with your sensei Asuma on this. Tsunade says. Thanks for giving me a chance, Tsunade-sama. I promise you, you won't regret it. Ino says, smiling. One more thing. Where is Sakura? Ino asked once more. Sakura and her family gone on vacation. Tsunade lied. Vacation to where? Ino asked. Waterfall country. Tsunade lied again, not going to tell Ino where the Haruno family actually is. Why vacation? Ino asked. So that the girl can take her mind off being a kunoichi and live her life as a civilian. Tsunade answered. I suppose that makes sense, Ino says, knowing Sakura's behavior. Did they say when they'll come back? She asked one last time. Maybe a month or 3 months, Tsunade replied. Ino would be in silence after that. Plenty of time to train and corrupt this girl into joining our family. This will sever her friendship with Sakura completely. Tsunade thought. She wants Sakura completely isolated, losing everything. Well, okay. Well, am I free to go now? Ino asked. Of course. Tsunade says as Ino nodded and would leave. As she left, Tsunade put on a devious smile. Later that evening, Hinata Hyuga would be at the Konoha hot springs. As she danced naked, while mentally daydreaming about being Naruto's girlfriend and receiving training under Tsunade Senju. The Hyuga heiress would keep dancing. And then, she hears the unexpected sound of moaning which broke her out of her daydreaming and halted her dancing. Hinata's face turned a rosy pink color hearing the moan from her private hot spring. As she glanced at the wall hearing the sounds, she turns on her Byukugan to see what's going on, not sure what was happening. Her eyes see through the wall, and suddenly she was taken back by what she was seeing. She saw Tsunade and Naruto naked, but her eyes widened at the sight of Naruto's tool. The image she saw burned into her memory forever. Her face burned brightly red, and her nose was bleeding, as she saw Naruto shove his member into Tsunade's womanhood. Hinata could barely look away as her nose continued to bleed, her face bright red, and suddenly images of her being older with Naruto treating her that way, and giving her the same pleasure that he gives to Tsunade. Oh right there, Naruto-kun, tilde, right there, tilde, give it to me. Tsunade's voice echoed loud enough for Hinata to hear, which made Hinata drool while still nose bleeding. Kami, you've gotten tighter, Tsunade-chan. Naruto's voice was heard, as Hinata suddenly fantasized her and Naruto having that kind of relation. If you want to be wife material for Naruto-kun, you need to come out of your shell and start being bold. Tsunade says to Hinata in a quick flashback. Be bold, and come out of her shell. As she recalls all the times she was seen as a weakling by the main branch. including her father and the elders. Remembers how the bullies would constantly call her a Byakugan freak or monster. Recalls how she attacked Sakura out of anger for insulting Naruto-kun. Recalls the ass-whooping she got from Neji in the Chunin exams and how Naruto cheered her on. The words from Tsunade kept replaying in Hinata's mind, as she recalled on how Kurenai her sensei would shield or isolate her from certain things. Be bold, if you want to be Naruto's potential wife. You can do it. Tsunade's voice echoed again, strengthening Hinata's resolve. She continued to watch the love-making between Tsunade and Naruto, as she was more determined to be his third wife. And at that moment, her mind and soul felt the presence of a mighty lioness that roared with pride. The lioness in question let out an earth-shaking thunderous roar. As the shell around her began to slowly crack, whatever pieces of the shy Hinata was slowly cracking. Time to turn over a new leaf, for Naruto-kun, she declared. The next day, Hinata would appear at the Senju estate doorstep knocking on it. As the door opened, revealing it to be Tsunade, who looked down at Hinata's sudden new appearance. Hinata was at the door with her jacket opened, revealing her fishnet top that held her developing breasts. Wearing jean shorts and put lipstick on her lips, and she's her RTN self, by the way. It seems just before she went to Tsunade, she sought out Anko Mitarashi, Kurenai's best friend, for advice. Anko didn't have no problem with helping Hinata and giving the girl some advice, knowing this girl had always been sheltered and isolated by Kurenai. Oh, what's this? Tsunade asked, surprised by Hinata's sudden change in clothes. I thought of looking proactive for Naruto-kun, Tsunade-sama. Hinata answered. This caused Tsunade to smile. It seems her plan worked last night by following Hinata to the hot springs and had quickly brought Naruto over just so she could put on a show for Hinata on purpose. And so it begins, Tsunade thought with her smile still on her face. Come on in. Naruto-kun just may be eager to see you in that. Tsunade says, letting the Hyuga heiress in. Meanwhile, at the Konoha hospital, Jiraiya would lay in his hospital bed still in a full body cast. His injuries are slowly healing. It's just that Tsunade refuses to give him a complete recovery. The hospital doors opened, revealing Tsunade coming in. Tsunade Heim, so how'd it go? How soon will I get back in perfect shape? He asked. Tsunade raised a brow, staring at Jiraiya. It went well, but first, she starts. Before Jiraiya could say anything, Tsunade punched him square in the face, knocking him right off his hospital bed. OWWW, what was that for? He asked her. You fucked up. That's what it was for. She hissed. Oh come on, Tsunade Heim. Please tell me this isn't about me neglecting Naruto still. He asked. It is, and I want you to stay away from him. She said. You can't just do this, Tsunade. Minato made me his godfather, remember? Jiraiya pleaded. Did you forget I am the Hokage? She reminded him. But still, I made a pro, he tried to say until she cut him off. You made a shitty promise to him, that's what you did. She said, glaring at him. But the Toads, they'll want to train him since he signed the contract. Jiraiya countered. They are just as guilty as you. I don't even want him training with them. She says, making Jiraiya frown. Who died and made you his mother? Because clearly you're not, he says to her. Tsunade glared. I adopted him. She pulled the adoption paper out of her coat, showing it to Jiraiya. So he's my son now. She spat. When you are fully recovered, the first thing I want you to do is tell the Toads to remove Naruto off their summoning contract. She demanded. Tsunade, aren't you taking this a bit too far? He yelled. The Toads will be displeased. He reasoned. I don't care. I don't want neither you or them around him. He will get a new summons, one that will care for him and look after him. She shot back. Let me talk to Naruto. At least give me a chance to make things right. He pleaded. You don't have any right to see him now, especially after I told him you're his godfather. She said. Tsunade, this isn't, he tried to say until her hands wrapped around his throat, strangling him. Listen here, you no good for nothing fucking pervert, don't you dare tell me this isn't fair. You had plenty of chances to be by Naruto's side years ago during his younger years, and what did you do? Tend to your spy network. Peep at girls. Jerk your disgusting pencil dick too at that shitty porn you write. She hissed, putting more pressure on Jiraiya's throat, causing him to gag and turn blue. Do as I say, tell the Toads you want Naruto off the contract, and if you do not do it, I will kill you. She snarled, almost tempting on crushing his windpipe, but let him go. Jiraiya coughed, trying to regain his breathing. Are we clear, Jiraiya? She asked. Jiraiya looks up at her in silence until she grabbed him by the throat and slammed his face hard into the wall and kept him pinned there. I won't ask again, she hissed. Crystal, he says until she dropped him. Good, I'm glad we are on the same page. Tsunade says. With that Tsunade turned to leave. Wait, aren't you supposed to heal me? He asked. I'm not healing you, I'm letting the doctors here do that. She says. She finally left, leaving Jiraiya alone who sighed. God damn it, Jiraiya muttered.